Hello, I am Hadeen Dobbins-Speck, President of the Winning Hand Corporation. The Winning Hand Corporation is a financial representation corporation. We provide management consulting services, business brokerage, and we host lectures to help the business community. I went into public accounting in 1967. I became a CPA in 1973. After 50 years in the accounting business, I've accumulated a wealth of knowledge from hundreds of clients in many different industries, which gives me the experience to offer you some general guidelines. I want to tell you now that your business is important, and what you're doing now has required a lot of sacrifice and effort, but it's well worth reinventing yourself. Right now, it requires a lot of innovation. In addition to our cash management, we also need to look at our marketing. The economy's gone through a shutdown. We've had time to reevaluate our company, reevaluate our marketing, reevaluate our business. We're getting a fresh start. Part of our reinvention could require we analyze our business. Do we borrow money and invest money to continue our business? Or do we liquidate or sell our business or retire? I'm giving you general guidelines. If you want specific instructions, contact me for a consultation. Many of you have an accountant or maybe a bookkeeper, but maybe you don't have a treasurer. Well, the role of treasurer has gone from maybe on the side room over to the top executive office. Liquidity is very important now. Cash flow is very important now. Maybe you spent your time in production, or maybe you spent your time with sales and sales leads and closing deals. Well, maybe you were busy in the admin area. Well, you can't give up on those things, but you've got to start your day, every day, looking at cash flow. Examine what's coming in, what's going out. The economy is coming back, but it's going to come back gradually and slowly. The economy never recovers as quickly as it goes down. The 2000 .com bubble required 8 years to fully recover. The 2008 mortgage crisis required 8 to 10 years to recover. The Wall Street Journal reported today that we're looking at a 10-year recovery period. First of all, we have thousands of businesses that will not reopen. We have 40 million people who have filed for unemployment. We have millions more self-employed that are going to have to reinvent themselves. Many of these jobs are not coming back. Consumer spending is changing. The consumer's saving more, spending less. They're unsure of their future, they're unsure of their job, they're unsure of their income. We're going to see a slow recovery for the next 6 months. And then gradually in 2021, the economy will gradually improve. A treasurer's job is to manage liquid assets, debt. That involves every aspect of the company. Now, not to be overly cautious, but let's talk about cash. The FDIC insures your bank account for $200,000. If you have funds exceeding this amount, you might consider putting part of those funds in a money market where you've got collateral. Is to utilize our assets in the most optimum way. Many of you as business owners wear many hats. You're the production manager, the sales manager, and the treasurer. But in the larger corporations, the treasurer devotes his time and attention to utilizing our assets to the optimum including our accounts receivable, our accounts payable, our inventory, our policies and practices, determine the degree of liquidity that we have from these resources. Now, after the shutdown and with the economy slowed down and the customers' reticence in spending, we need to revisit that treasurer's role. I think we need to increase the priority and importance of cash. Maybe we haven't done that so much in the past, but I think it's something that we need to put in our daily practice now. Let's feel the pulse of what's going out. Let's feel the pulse of what's coming in. Maybe in the past, we depended on our customers to mail in their payments. Maybe now we need to hire a collections clerk. Maybe in the past, we took all of our cash discounts. Maybe our cash flow no longer permits that. Everything that we have done in business needs to be reevaluated. Banks are increasing their loss reserves. The real estate, commercial, and apartments are in trouble. People are not paying their rent. They're not paying their mortgage payments. The banks are increasing their loan loss reserves. We could see some bank failures. Just protect yourself. Consider that as an option. Let's look at your other liquid asset, accounts receivable. Well, you may have had a great customer last year, but guess what? With this shutdown, if they were teetering, they may be in trouble now. So you've got to reevaluate your credit line with every customer. You've got to get current financial statements. You've got to reevaluate each customer's credit worthiness. You may have customers that are not paying. You may want to ask them to return their inventory. You may have customers that are paying more slowly. You may want to offer a cash discount to entice some of those customers to pay more promptly. With this disruption on a global basis, there can be some disruption in your supply chain. You may have a favorite supplier, vendor, product line, brand that you sell. It may not be available, or its availability may be inconsistent. You may have to find an alternative source. You may have to change to a different brand. All these things have to be reconsidered, reevaluated. Another area that we might consider in the treasury function is debt. Maybe we have an opportunity to contact our bank and restructure our debt to interest payments only. Maybe we have an opportunity to renegotiate our terms on our long-term financing. Now's the time to consider how much space we have and reevaluate our space requirements. You know, we may have been working with so many personnel before the shutdown, and a lot of those personnel have been working from home. We've developed systems to make that functional. Maybe those new systems need to remain in place. Maybe those employees can continue to work from home. Maybe we need less space. I think we should reevaluate our space requirements. In addition, maybe you already have reevaluated your essential personnel and reevaluated a reduction in personnel or a reduction in payroll. Part of your debt restructuring could involve leasing. Maybe you've been purchasing your equipment and vehicles, and maybe we should think about leasing and get that off of the balance sheet. You need to reevaluate your fixed asset expenditure budget. You may want to think about if you're a manufacturer and you have, or maybe you're an inventor and you have patents and you have license agreements with your certain manufacturers, you may want to go back and revisit those license agreements. Because in certain circumstances, when you have a multinational license agreement, those royalties can be treated as long-term capital gains and not ordinary income. That may help some of you. Anytime there's pain, there's opportunity. And as our economy has gone through this great shift, if you're strong enough and have the resources, let's consider maybe acquiring a competitor, or maybe let's expand our market share. In closing this lecture, I cannot answer every specific question in your circumstances. Contact me for consultation. I think we need to evaluate our mission statement, maybe rewrite our employee handbook. I think we need to put together a customer statement to help remind the customer of our product's quality and service and reliability. Our philosophy and guidelines that we have for ourselves, if they're not written, they're probably not being done. I think taking the time to update our mission statement, our philosophy, our employee handbook, our customer statement gives us a chance to make a restatement of our intentions going forward under the new economy. And I call this the new economy because it's not like anything we've done before, and it will never be the same again.